Welcome to Alchemy Uncensored, a podcast presented by Alchemy Search, a team of professional financial and tax recruiters. Our podcast is dedicated to providing valuable insights into the financial and tax sector of the UAE by discussing the challenges and opportunities faced by employers and job seekers. Alchemy Uncensored is the perfect podcast for those looking to gain a competitive edge in the finance, accounting and tax industry of the UAE. Stay informed on the latest job market trends, developments and conversations to stay ahead of the game. Tune into our podcast to be part of this insightful conversation. Hey there, it's your friendly host Connor, and I'm glad you're still with us on the 7th episode of our podcast. Today, we're flipping the switch and taking a detour from the usual buttoned up, serious conversations of our past episodes. I've got a fantastic team right beside me here. Say hello, team.
Hello.
And in this episode, we're going to be going through backstage pass to everyday shenanigans that go down in my office. We're about to peel back the curtain and show you the unfiltered, behind the scenes chaos and camaraderie that keeps the ship afloat. In this episode, we'll be talking about Alchemy Search's team's recruiter's story, the 2023 market recap from Q3, answering questions from our podcasters' followers. But I'd like to start this episode by letting our viewers know more about us. So we're going to go through all these questions.
Okay.
I want you all to give your
First answer. Okay.
answer all at the same time. So quick fire round.
Okay.
So, who's most likely to come late in the office, can be rarely seen at their desk, but still makes thousands of placements?
Easy.
Rotica.
100%.
I'm the first one.
You were late to this.
We were late today as well.
It's only 20 minutes.
Next one. Who's most likely to be chilling and drinking coffee in the cafe, but gets a client with jobs? Quick answers, guys.
Graham.
Lovely Irish.
Perfect.
We all agree on something.
Yeah, exactly. What's Selim is wonderful. Who's most likely to be competitive in all things at all times?
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey, yeah.
There's a few of us in the office.
It used to be Lewis, but Lewis has gone off the boil a bit. So, yeah.
No, but Jeffrey is like competitive with literally everything.
So
Basketball,
it's Jeff.
sports. Jeff.
Yeah, thank you.
Short for Jeffrey.
Okay.
Right. So, who's most likely to be doing funny impressions of their colleagues?
I'd say Lewis. But
I'd say
they're
Lewis.
not that funny. Inappropriate.
Yeah, we don't have Lewis with us today, but maybe
Yeah.
next quarter
You'll learn a lot about him today anyway.
he'll come good. Please God. Or else you go in-house. So,
Rumor has it.
who's most likely to be candidly straightforward with their candidates without even realizing it?
100% Serbi.
Serbi.
Serbi, yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say you, but it's probably Serbi really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Serbi.
Williams are pocket.
I'm a bit
She
nicer.
knows-
I'm
she knows
nice.
you're doing it.
I'm trying to be. I try to be nice.
Yeah, doesn't suit you. So, who's most likely to win in any sports?
Lewis.
I'm going to
I
have to say
think-
Lewis.
Jeff
Yeah.
wants the answer to be him,
Yeah.
but just because of that, I'm gonna say Lewis.
Lewis. No way. It's, to be fair, right? If it's exercise, it's Lewis. If anything else, it's Connor.
Oh, yeah, actually. Oh, yeah, Connor's a dark.
I've-
Connor's a...
No.
Come on, Lewis is useless.
Lost
Who?
golf to Connor.
I'm the man.
Football.
Bow to me.
Disgrace.
Shocking.
Good, I'll take that. Thank you, guys. You'll always get your bonuses. Who's most likely to eat for seconds? Or to look for seconds if we go for dinner? So who's the hound of the group?
No prizes for
Jeff
guessing.
Landers, that's
It's
not
Jeff.
Rodica, who is it?
Jeff.
I would have said Rotica, but
She doesn't come to the dinner.
No, she did a good job there at lunch now. To be fair to her. Who's most likely to get emotional?
Ooh. We're all quite emotional. Who's the
Our
most
females are
emotional?
very emotional.
You know the best. You're the shrink.
I'm the shrink, yeah.
Yeah, who do you think that is?
Yeah.
Rodica. We've got Pooja back though, so. Serbia's quite stern. She doesn't really give me too much voice notes of long length, but anyway. And Who is most likely to have a snappy comeback?
Bernice.
Bernice, yeah.
I think it's Bernice, yeah.
Venting up inside Bernice. She's not here today, so we can take the mick out of her a bit more.
But she'll see this. She'll just edit it out.
Yeah, probably.
Her and Tiffany.
Who's most likely to ignore a social media request from a coworker?
Serby.
VM. She had not accepted my invite for like months after I joined in.
What?
I'm not friends with.
I'm sure there's some candidates out there that can confirm that also.
Yeah, no.
Yeah?
No. No friends.
Why don't you get back to your candidates?
What, on Instagram?
Okay, we'll get back to that one. Who is most likely to plan a team outing?
Tiffany.
Pooja, Pooja definitely. Pooja just, I think half her job is to get out days out. Where did we go there? We went to Guild and then she was already looking at Josette.
Good taste.
Let's make some placements, please.
By the way, Pooja sat here with us at the studio, so she's watching this. So be careful,
Check you up next. Who's most likely to be drinking all month and decides not to drink for a year?
Lewis.
Definitely not the Irish staff. We can confirm that. Yeah. It's only one person. Yeah.
Not all month. One day, okay.
Yeah, yalla habibi. Okay.
One day.
One day turns into 1 month very quickly with you.
A leopard doesn't change the spots.
Well, if you work with Irishmen, you've got to have that discipline. Otherwise, it's just downhill.
We have the discipline to never give up. Never surrender.
Unfortunately, I don't have the blood for that. So.
Are you okay?
Whenever you're ready to go, we're here for you. Like.
We'll take
No rush.
I did
good,
think
yeah?
this is going to be a nightmare. I think.
Sorry, Tiff.
Tiffany. Sorry, Tiffany.
Sorry, guys, we got held up there. Rudika had to get cough tablets, so we had to stop the whole podcast. So if it looks a bit edited from the last 20 seconds, that's what's happened. So thank you, Rudika.
That was really unexpected.
We're all here for you. It's okay.
Sorry.
Right, we'll move on because people don't really hear. They want to hear some good information at some point in this podcast. So we'll kick off this. And so, Wiam, what's happening in Abu Dhabi? And what do you think will change in the next quarter or even going into next year? Over to you.
I think Abu Dhabi is quite an interesting market. And I think what's going on right now and activity that's going on right now is all a reaction due to a lot of things that happened from COVID onwards. During COVID, apart from hospitality and tourism, I think there's a few sectors that, took a bit of a hit or, the country realized that there's a lot of need to invest in these industries. So one of them is definitely the food sector. The other is healthcare. And the other is private credit and hedge funds. So I think a lot of companies during COVID, small companies, they couldn't really survive. And during COVID, again, the food industry, we didn't have access to a lot of food here. So this kind of scared a lot of people. And hence now you see a lot of investments coming through to these three areas. So you see a lot of acquisitions happening in the food sector. You see a lot of acquisitions happening in the pharmaceutical sector. And you see a lot of private credit coming into the country because smaller organizations need that access to private credit and capital, which now they have access to. And because these industries now are at the top of the agenda, that's where we see the most recruitment and a lot of activity happening. So I think these industries are going to continue to recruit, and it's already starting to change, I think, towards the end of this year and into next year. And because of that, I think from an employment perspective, it is going to create a lot of jobs in Abu Dhabi. It's going to create a lot of roles in these sectors, especially from a finance perspective. Because of everything that's happening in Abu Dhabi, especially with the merger of Reem Island into the ADGM, that making it the biggest financial center, one of the biggest financial centers globally. It's going to create a lot of jobs in compliance because of regulations, I think, internal audit, risk, because Abu Dhabi is attracting a lot of attention. And with these roles and these companies coming in, it needs to be regulated. So there's going to be a lot of roles within these spaces for sure. So it's going to be an active market, hopefully.
Good. Well, we am well able to talk anyway, guys. Fair play to her. That was the We Am show we're doing there. Like, we've other people to get through here as well today, We Am. So yeah, the two things there anyway, yeah. The private credit piece, well, we could definitely do a bit of credit, so, send some of those guys our way.
Capital raising.
And the food now, ever since Jeff landed in this country, the food business is flying back again, like he's well taken care of it now. A savage of a young fella. I guess We Am, because you're dealing with the more senior position, so what do you think is the outlook? If I'm a CFO or a finance director in the UK, our good old friends there on their 3 months notice, what would you say to them? What's happening? They're ringing you saying, I want a job.
I think there's more senior roles coming, hopefully. More senior roles coming. I think last year there were a lot more. Mm-hmm. Hopefully that's going to change.
And tell me, Abu Dhabi, why should someone go to Abu Dhabi? You have a job, I'm interviewing for you for a job in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. You want me to get the Abu Dhabi job, why?
Yeah. Like, there's a couple of, I think, demographics or types of people that want to move to Abu Dhabi. If you have a family, it's a great place. If you're senior and you're looking to be closer to where decisions are made, it's a great place. If you're looking to get into the investment space, because that's where a lot of the companies are within that area, it's a good place to be. So, it all depends on kind of where you're at in your career and what you value most. But if you value these things, then Abu Dhabi is a no-brainer.
If you like UFC, F1.
F1, yeah, a lot of entertainment.
Courses,
I'm going to Robbie Williams next week.
Are you?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's happening in Abu Dhabi.
When's that
Oh,
on?
I didn't put in the into your diary.
What day is that on?
Wednesday.
I won't say what I was going to say. Right, we'll move on here swiftly. Thank you, Liam, for that. Very good. Rutika. Questions, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. As you are completing a year in recruitment next week. Next week?
Yes.
Wow.
Time flies.
Time flies, yeah. Very good. How has your experience been, and how, would you describe the transition from being a tax consultant to being a shark of a recruiter? How has it been?
Don't describe myself as a shark, but yeah, it has been it has been a very interesting journey. So when I was thinking of moving my career from tax consulting, like core tax consulting, I just wanted to do something which is closely aligned to tax. Mm-hmm. And I think recruitment has been a very interesting journey because it has given me a very multi-dimensional view to tax. So as a tax consultant, I was mainly focused on the technicalities, like just doing a lot of advisory, number crunching. But now that I've moved on to a recruitment career, I see things more from a practical perspective. Mm-hmm. So just like I get to speak with senior professionals in finance and tax all around the world, I get to know what's happening in the market, what the business requirements are, how the businesses are reacting to all these changes, what is the future of tax. So these kind of insights are really interesting. So I think I see myself, more than a recruiter, I see myself as an advisor to businesses. I want to add a lot of value to the hiring process rather than just passing on CVs. So I don't think I'm like a sharky recruiter.
No, sorry, I got mixed up with William.
And I think my one...
You can laugh.
I'm not a shark, Connor. I was once a killer.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, a killer shark.
By the way, guys, William is back this quarter. She's back.
She's a friendly shark now.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a baby shark, I'm a baby shark. I'm coming after you though, Rutka.
Oh.
Yeah, she is.
It's okay.
You're number one. You have a target on your back after last quarter.
My year in tax recruitment has been quite interesting, like a year of many firsts, writing articles for newspapers, being live on radio, like
wearing lovely purple suits.
Yeah. And doing fun things like
Love the
hiking,
purple pants, by the way.
Hot yoga, thank you. These guys have been like making me do all these things like hiking, go-karting, hot yoga. I've never done that before, so these are all the fun.
I don't think you'd be go-karting again, no.
Unbelievable at go-karting. So for anyone...
No, please don't.
She's like Bowser going around the place.
Track record was 31 seconds by Connor. And Rutika did the lap in a minute 31 seconds.
Slow and steady.
Around, taking her time.
Yeah.
Letting people pass.
Yeah, indicating.
You can go, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Just go. Don't hurt me.
I think that's the last one.
Rutika.
Concentrate.
I just love chanting.
So much,
I just love it.
not able to like focus on anything, just like an office.
It's Jeff's fault.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Jeff, how are you?
Feeling good, Connor.
Good, that's
Thank you.
great.
And,
That's
and
good.
yourself?
If I was any better, I'd be worried. So, Jeff, how have you found the transition from accounting to recruitment? Pros and cons. Probably a lot more cons in your first 2 quarters, but what are the pros now?
What goes down must come up.
So my first 2 quarters were quiet.
To say the least.
Less laughing.
Loss making,
please. Yeah, look, it was tricky going from, it's a completely different career path.
Yeah, sorry, give our listeners a very interesting career path you moved on. You were an accountant,
Yes.
and then what were you?
I went into restructuring.
Yeah.
After that,
And after that,
I was a baker,
yeah, Jeff.
a
go on.
self-employed baker.
Jeff the baker.
So
Jeff the baker.
what'd you
Jeff the
bake?
baker.
So cookies and cakes, dairy-free. And
You look it.
I ate a lot of them as well.
That was good. That was good. Come on, that was good.
Are we going to talk about my career here at all, please? Or just going to make cheap weight jokes? Yeah, look, I was supposed to come over to Dubai during COVID, and like everyone, I thought COVID was going to be a couple of months. So I handed in my notice, needed to make money.
Yeah.
So I decided to sell cookies from my very patient mother's house. Sold cookies for 2 months and then started selling them to coffee shops and
Good.
built up the business then. And then I got a tap on the shoulder and said, come on,
big boss.
go, yeah, from the real boss.
Yeah.
We go to Dubai.
Good.
So rest is history, but no regrets.
Yeah, good,
regrets.
good. And how have you found it? You know, obviously we have so many people trying to relocate here from all parts of the world. Obviously, you're from Ireland. So what have you found to be the biggest differences living in Dubai compared to Dublin?
Well, look, I didn't have any idea what Dubai was like. I'd never been here before. The only image I had was Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible scaling the Burj Khalifa in the desert. I thought, what am I getting myself in for? But no, look, I always say it's like a mix between New York and like Florida. It's so developed. I didn't think you could drink. I didn't think you could have your shoulders out.
You haven't looked
Long
like.
and behold,
Yeah, now I'm frequently seen topless in fivers.
singing to the paddy man.
Singing to the paddy man. But no, for anyone who's kind of nervous about coming over here, like the culture shift isn't as big as you might anticipate.
Well, that's because there's a lot of Irish people in
There's
Dubai.
so many Irish people.
So it feels like home.
Yeah, I mean, everywhere you look, you hear the accents in the mall, you know, or the mall, as we call it. So yeah, look, it's great. You just need to get settled. The first 3 or 4 months, getting your Emirates ID, getting the apartment.
Not very straightforward, is it?
It's so much red tape. Getting a bank account, signatures wrong, this, that, you know. But once you get settled, get your apartment, get your job. Every weekend's a holiday.
Good.
So couldn't recommend it more.
Man, Jeff. Well, Jeff enjoys it. And Jeff, what would you say then, having come from Ireland where you're predominantly dealing with mostly Irish people, how have you found the culture shift dealing with so many different nationalities? Obviously, we have it within our own office.
He has beef with everyone.
You know, our Indian staff refuse to sit in the office floor with
It's beef with everyone.
the 3 boys. They sit outside our office trying to work. So how have you found that switch? And Rudiger, you can confirm this, yes?
I think
Yes, for obvious reasons, why I'm sitting outside.
People don't get along with Jeff.
Yeah.
this is going out live, like to people. Like my family's going to watch this.
I'm just kidding.
They're going to say I'm fat and going to get home.
Well, lad.
Yeah, feeling good. The camera adds £10, by the way, to anyone who. But no, I think myself and Rodica have formed a really strong relationship.
Confirm this, Rudiger, please.
He can have his own opinion.
We get on really well. I don't get on with Serbia as well. Not due to me, like I really like her. I think it's more on her side.
And what about Pooja now? Pooja's just come in there now, fresh face. How's that relationship?
Pooja's more Brit than Indian, I feel. Yeah, she's...
So the good thing.
Nah. She's looking at me here.
Be very careful.
Pooja is great. No, we have really good dynamic in the office, to be fair.
So many different people.
So many different people. And look, when you're dealing with candidates that are from different countries. Like you have to remember that, you know, we've come over to the UAE expecting everyone to speak English, and it's their third, fourth, fifth language that they're trying to speak with. So, you know, you have to cut people a bit of slack and kind of appreciate that, you know, listing off all their career path and everything in their third or fourth language. Yeah. You know, I can't speak a second language, so you got to give them a bit of
for all my Arabic speaking listeners. So yeah, so I had to get that one in there. But no, on a more serious note, because you have done a lot of work with shared service centres.
Yeah.
In the last quarter. So how have you seen that? You know, what's been the challenges? You've had plenty of challenges.
Plenty of challenges. Yeah.
But how are you seeing that market now? Obviously, we were dealing very close to, you know, two companies in particular.
Yeah.
You know, how's it been?
Been trying at times, but I mean, there's so many candidates out there looking for those types of positions, and it's a really good opportunity for people to get in and do end-to-end accounting. Rather than go in and kind of just do payable, just do receivable. You know, these businesses are adding 20, 30, 40 people. They're not adding one or two, you know, they're booming at the minute. So it's just, you know, finding the right people, because a lot of people that come over here are quite desperate to get a job, and it's making sure that they're the right fit, you know, they're capable. But look, the companies we've been working with have been...
That's how you ended up in recruitment. You're desperate.
I was headhunted. Couldn't let me go. An amazing golfer.
Yeah, great golfer. Yeah, Jeff fooled me on the golf course.
Rumour has
first interview.
Rumour has it. Yeah.
No, Jeff's come good. Jeff's come good now, to be fair. And
beat you once.
Yeah, you have. Yeah,
lost.
Yeah, 7-8 times.
7, 8,
Thanks for coming. Good lad. Keep the head up, son. And then on to Graham. Formerly known as G Unit. You know, the quiet man, the quietest man is the most dangerous man in the room. You know, Graham's had a great year. You're here, what, over a year now?
Just over a year, yeah.
Fresh haircut as well, by the way, guys. Have a look there. Give it a look there.
Clean.
For people who are watching on YouTube or videos, looking well. This is Mrs. way as well, actually. 3 weeks.
Had to compete against these two boys.
But anyway, Graham, so before relocating to Dubai, you worked in in-house recruitment in Ireland. And how have you found the transition? You know, obviously going from in-house, but also going from, you know, Ireland to Dubai, you know, focused on one industry. How's that change been for you?
Yeah, like in terms of the roles that I was doing in Ireland, they were, it was kind of for a government body. So there was a lot of red tape. There wasn't a lot of freedom. Basically, I was just given the job and this is what you're looking for. Anything out of the criteria wasn't really even looked at. So I suppose being like external recruitment now and being specialised in finance, I suppose the fact we are consultants, being able to give our own advice and being able to give clients advice and candidates advice about, okay, well, we talk to clients and candidates every day. We kind of know the market. So being able to actually give advice and maybe be a bit more flexible and showing them different options as well, it's definitely been a great experience. So yeah, no.
And Graham's one of the good guys in the office. We can all...
The only good guy in the office.
One of the good guys in the office.
Yeah, one being singular, not plural. But no, Graham's one of the good ones. Graham's one of the good ones. But yeah, good question here now for you, Graham. So you deal, obviously, a lot of Irish people in particular trying to move out here, British people. So one bit of advice you wish you knew before moving to Dubai. And we'll put this across to Jeff then as well.
Bring your sunscreen.
Yeah, bring that, yeah.
That's the tans we have.
Glowing red.
Blending into the cream.
Yeah, so I suppose I was similar to Jeff in the fact that I hadn't actually been to Dubai either before I landed. I just got off the plane, didn't know what to expect. So it was thrown in the deep end, as you could say. So yeah, I would say be prepared in terms of, you know, getting your Emirates ID. So once you get your Emirates ID, everything is easy. But leading up to that process, you know, biometrics, fingerprints, all that kind of stuff does take time. Having your degree attested before coming over, that was one hurdle that I didn't know about. So that was a bit of a headache to solve. And also, you know, setting up banks and just making sure that you've researched all that, because it does take time to get your Emirates. It's not straightforward. It's not as easy as hopping off the plane and finding your feet. It does take a while. So yeah, that's probably the best piece of advice I could give.
I'd say bring cash. However much you think you need more.
Rob a bank.
Jesus, how much are you using?
No, those food industries have been flying as I say, folks.
Them Kareem has been surplus.
Some was food, granted.
Some was beer.
What would we say percentage-wise now? That
Yeah, food, beer.
5%, 20%.
Of food or
Yeah.
not food?
Food.
Of food.
And liquids.
Liquid.
30% food and drink.
The other 70.
Food and drink.
No, I doubt that now.
You're not fooling your parents back home here now.
10 to 15.
I mean, Lambert's at home, like, no.
No, but like if you come up when you're translating from euro into dirham, it all seems crazy.
But that's one thing you should not do. You should not, do that conversion because it's totally different place.
Yeah.
So you cannot, when you convert it, obviously it sounds like, or it seems like it's,
Yeah, but if you come out with 10,000 dirham or 10,000 euro and suddenly you have to survive for 6 weeks with no job because
10,000 euro.
Yeah.
That's
which
a
is
lot.
40,000 dirham.
That's a lot.
Not if you're paying rent, not if you're renting cars, not if you're
That's
enjoying
he's
yourself.
a grown
That's
young
for
man,
two
folks.
people.
We're going to cafes every Saturday night.
Two
Yeah.
people.
What have you been doing for 6 weeks?
Back home.
Then you need the down payment. You need 4-6 months for rent up front when you get your
if you
apartment.
include down payments, yeah.
When you like all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Like it all adds up.
Okay, guys, we're going to have to
Well,
move
come on,
on.
no,
We're
we're
moving
doing-
now.
yeah.
I'm telling you, it's not a lot.
And you're going to whip in 1 minute, okay? So you ready?
I'll be quick.
Ready now.
Okay, and give me the 1 minute warning.
Okay,
so
it's
prepare
fine.
yourself.
We can
Okay.
start.
Right. And the last question for
Yeah.
the two boys. So you're both fond of a pint.
Oh, yeah.
For people who've just relocated here, what would the brunches you guys would go to? Recommend. You've probably been escorted out of, but which brunches have you guys been to for the newbies?
I don't know, Graham. I don't really go to many brunches.
If anybody here says McCafferty's or McGettigan's, I'm gonna.
No. The hidden gem has to be Thursday night in Fibbers, 200 dirhams. So shout out to Fibber McGee's. If there's any free vouchers are going, there's three men
That's
here.
Find the boys. Any candidates?
Yeah.
Fibbers on Thursday.
All you back in Ireland, that's
Yeah,
50
yeah.
euro, all you can eat, all you can
Yeah.
drink.
Another standout one actually is Karma Cafe.
Are we getting paid for this marketing from Fibbers and
This segment is sponsored by Fibber
Yeah.
McGee's.
And Karma Cafe by the Burge. That's very good. You get well fed there.
There you go, guys. If you're looking for your brunch. But guys, more importantly, Rudika now is able to speak.
Back to Rudika.
Yeah, we might leave it in. We might edit it out, but we had an issue around Rudika where she wasn't ready for it. But are you ready now?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell us, how's it been? The trends now in tax. How do you feel about everything? Because I can only remember 6 months ago, you looked at me and said, "Why have you hired me?"
Yeah.
There was no jobs for you. You were getting a bit nervous. What have I done? So what's changed?
So in the last 3 months, it has been very busy.
Yeah.
So sometimes I feel I moved on to tax recruitment with the thought that I'll have a better work-life balance. But the last 3 months were absolutely crazy.
Oh, wow.
So I realized that tax people are never free from work. So it's been really crazy, and I'm really happy about it because in comparison to last year, like now I see that there's a twofold hike in the tax roles, particularly in industry roles. So the first half of the year was mainly about consulting, and now we see a lot of industry roles. And the good thing is like the businesses are now taking tax hiring very seriously.
Yeah.
So last year it was not like an urgent need, so the interview processes were a bit slow, but that has changed this year. And now businesses are
There's a fight-
really serious
fight for
about
talent.
it. Yes, there's a war for talent, and that's why I would strongly recommend businesses to plan in advance, because if they have corporate tax projects lined up and they need someone who is immediately available or on a shorter notice period, it's not going to happen.
The big thing for tax recruitment compared to finance recruitment is that in general, when you're hiring a tax person, especially in-house, they're going to be working for a big four or working in a consultancy. So they'll be on 3 months.
Yes.
Even if they're newly qualified, they'll be on 3 months. While in the finance recruitment network, vast majority of candidates from senior accountant to mid-level are on 1 month. So
Yeah.
CFOs, that's probably something you're not used to. And, you need to get used to it because it takes a lot more time to get these people. So yeah.
So in Q2, I think the businesses were not taking this so seriously, and now suddenly they're pressing the panic button.
and then you came down and knocked.
Yes, they want people who are immediately available with a shorter notice period.
absolutely everything as well.
Yes, a tax generalist who can literally do everything, which is sometimes unrealistic because subjects like transfer pricing and VAT are completely different from each other. So it's really difficult to find the right candidate having the knowledge of
And
all
you've even been
taxes.
approached, haven't you? When you've
Yes.
gone on to get a client job on the client, I know who you are, Mr. Client. Approached Ruttiga to join the team.
Yeah,
But you can't afford her.
She's number one.
all tax offers. So you have nothing to worry about. These are all tax roles
that's all right.
that have been offered.
I'll keep an eye on them. Don't worry.
So the wave so far is for corporate tax and transfer pricing professionals. So I think like indirect tax professionals who are looking to move to in-house roles, they'll have to wait it out because right now it's just about transfer pricing.
Please reach out to Pooja and Rudika. Pooja just joined now, so we have an extra resource. But when you get in touch, keep your emails not too long. Some people send us emails. Make sure you address the person's name. Don't just say hello or hello sir or ma'am. Just it is taken more seriously. That would be my advice. But get in touch, read the articles. Listen to the podcast, and hopefully there will be more and more and more. So thank you for that, Rudika. Thank you. So now we're on to the final piece, I believe. Tiffany, am I right? Yeah. Okay. Questions from our viewers, the listeners, all 12 of you. So, from our YouTube channel subscriber, Huxlow Bro, he's asked, could you give me some ideas what questions I should ask the interviewer being an interviewee? And we're going to throw that question straight to Wiam.
I think a really good question would be asking them about why they took the role to begin with. Like, for example, if someone was in a position for, even if it was 10 months or 2 years, it's a good way to get their take on why they did it. Like, why did you take the role? What attracted you to the position to begin with? Even if their position is a director or CFO or whatever. Because I think that can give you a lot of insight onto their thought process, and I think it can give you a lot of information as well. So I think that's a good question to ask, something different.
Yeah, the big thing for any interviewees is that do your homework in the company. People forget that an interview in general is just an hour conversation sat in front of someone. You actually don't do any work. So the more confident you go into the interview, the more confident you're going to across. That's the more assuring for the hiring manager. So, get as much practice as you can in. Look after number one. Interview as much time as possible, because the more you interview, the more confident you're going to be. So be a bit selfish on that front. So the next question we have is from Kitty McHale, 7439. I'd say Kitty's probably from Ireland with that name. But so Kitty is considering a move to Dubai, and she knows there's a lot of competition. But the question she's asked is there a lot of particular obstacles for foreign women in job applications? And we're going to throw that question to Rudika.
So from a tax perspective, I would say people from different jurisdictions having different experiences are most welcome because it adds a lot to the table. Mm-hmm. So I've worked with a lot of consultancies, and they prefer people coming from different backgrounds, different nationalities, having worked on different tax laws. So I don't think that should be an obstacle. Rather than that, it's an advantage.
Yeah, UAE is 90% expat.
Yeah. I think, for any women, I think UAE is great because, they have the life of Riley. They get your own carriage on the metro. You get
I think we get treated really well here.
You get ladies' nights every day of the week. So
Tuesday in Fibbers.
Yeah, well, ladies. Yeah. I wouldn't advise too many ladies now to be knocking into Fibbers on Tuesday now. The dungeon. So
it's actually I think the best place for women to climb the corporate ladder, because I think they're treated really well. They're respected. I think that now there's a huge push onto diversity. So a woman that's doing the same job as a man would probably get the job, or at least if they have equal technical ability, because of quotas or because it's just a different perspective or diversity. So
that's how we started in the first place. We were all women at the start.
That's not proper diversity.
And you clued in.
Then I got my red-faced boys in beside me and our little Scandinavian runner. But I think for ladies it is very good. And look, we'll be very honest. Obviously, some clients, as Wiam said, would like to hire a woman ahead of a man for a D&I. So yeah, it's definitely a good place for a lady to come, in my opinion. And then we got from our TikTok. She's on TikTok as well. TikTok follower.
A lot of things happen in the background.
It's all happening here, yeah.
Get asked to do a dance.
Yeah, I might do a dance, yeah. I have a gap in my work and I'm transitioning into a different field. What advice would you give so I can be a good fit for future employment? So this is from Be True to Yourself. Nice name. So it's probably asking them, trying to move from a different field. For finance and tax, we see that a lot for finance. Guys who are working probably in industries, moving into different industries. And then obviously some guys who are controllers trying to get into FP&A. So we'll put that one to Jeff. So what would be your advice for that one, Jeff?
Yeah, so like obviously I did it. I moved industry from accounting to recruitment. I see a lot of people from Ireland looking to move from audit into anything else.
Or from baking to...
Okay, the baking to recruitment transition is easier than you think. You know, it's all about just making deals.
We'll take that
deals
offline on how that works. But anyways, yeah.
But no, if you're looking to go from audit into FP&A, for example, you need to try and find, you know, a middle ground job, I think, a transitional job that gets you out of just say the big four into industry and then gets you into a company or an environment that gives you the opportunities to eventually get into what you want to get into. Because going, you know, when you're competing for a certain job against someone else who has done their experience in that field or in that area, you're immediately at a disadvantage. So, you know, think of what the end goal is in 3-4 years and then kind of chart a path to get to that. And it might involve one job that isn't the dream job, but eventually that's the route to take.
Yeah. I think personally there's so many things where candidates that come out here, they get lost about money. So, you know, obviously when the market's a bit busier, we'll have certain roles which some are paying more or less. But for me, the better paying job is actually nothing to do with the money. Obviously money, you need a base level of cash, of course, but if someone's to tell you, I will take a job at 30K, work like a slave, you know, over weekends, all these things, have a terrible boss, all that, blah, blah, blah. Then you've another job at 27K. You work Monday to Friday, quite happily. They're flexible. You know, you get your leave, no issues at all. For me, that's a better paying job. And that's the biggest thing I think people miss in this market, that you get caught up with money, because sometimes you'll have a job where you might get 30K, 35K, but then that's it. You can't get above after that. And for a lot of the candidates that come out here mid-level, you're not the finished article. So, you know, you're much better off going to a place where you're going to learn and actually develop in your career down the line. So, yeah, that would be my views on that. So I hope you learned a lot from this podcast. If you haven't subscribed to our channels, please do so on Alchemy Uncensored on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. Sign up to our community page on our website at alchemysearch.ae. Follow us on LinkedIn and Instagram at Alchemy Search. And see you on our next episode. Thank you.